welcome back with another video. Today's just a quick one talking about CPL centuries. I know the other day Evan Lewis got us excited scoring the first century for CPL 2024, 12th edition. And so in all 12 editions so far, let's look at all the 18 players that have scored centuries in CPL. And um, there are many players with just one single century, just to show you how difficult it is to come to the Caribbean Premier League after 12 editions and score more than one century. So at number 18, Martin Guptill, one century against the Barbados Royals. You did that actually last edition of the CPL where TKR went to the finals. Colin Monroe, 100 not out versus Guyana Amazon Warrior. I don't even remember which edition you did that. Shimron Hitmaya, 100 not out versus the Jamaica Talawas. That was 2018 when Andre Russell was captaining and Hitmaya smashed the Talawas in Florida. Rakatak, 102 not out. He's in 15th place. He scored that century versus the St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots in an epic run chase above 200 at Kensington Ovals, and Rakatak. Can't forget that one. Glenn Phillips scored 103 versus St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots. He's in 14th position with one century. Kyron Pollard, one century. Yes, the big man has a century. Playing for the St. Lucia Zooks at the time. Pollard got that monkey off his back versus the Barbados Tridents. I remember that game. He and Johnson Charles at the crease. It was just so entertaining. Pollard smashing Jason Older. It was a wonderful game. I remember that one. Chandra Paul Himraj, he's in number 12, 105 versus the Barbados Royals. In at number 11, probably the best batsman in the Caribbean right now in terms of, technique, everything, so poised. Shea Diego Hope, one century to his name, 106 versus Barbados Royals. He did that last year and he was the leading run scorer in last year's CPL edition. In at number 10, the icon himself, 106 versus Guyana Amazon Warrior. I remember that game. I think it was a 200 plus run chase. Guyana made a lot of runs. Martin Guptill and Lendl Simmons. But guess what? Marlon Samuel scored 106 not out in a losing effort. He had a wonderful partnership with, I think, a guy called Peters. He was good to remember that game. Shamar Brooks in at number 9, 109 not out versus Guyana Amazon Warriors. Alex Hales, last year edition of CPL, one century. He's at 8th place, 109 not out versus the St. Lucia Zooks. 119 rather. 119 not out versus St. Lucia Zooks. It was very entertaining. Ensured that the Talawas get to the top 4. Now we're into the big guns because these guys have more than one century. Guess who? Guess who? Nicholas Poran, 2 centuries. He had a brilliant 100 not out versus the St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots. I remember that like the back of my head. That was done in the COVID CPL where he smashed the leg spinner from New Zealand for like 4 sixes in 1 over. He and Ross Taylor chased down, I think, 150 something versus the Patriots. Poor and smash. Ish Sodi, that's his name. Then the 102 versus Barbados Royals. That was last year. I remember Pooran and Russell at the crease. It was just raining sixes. So Pooran is in 7th position. The man who has scored a century in this edition of the CPL is in 6th position, Evan Lewis. 102 not out versus TKR at Warner Park. I remember that one as well. So wonderful. Evan Lewis and Chris Gale got off to a flying start. They were chasing like 170, I believe. Flying Stars, smashing Alican, smashing Anderson Phillip, smashing Akilo Sane, smashing even Sunil Narayan took some tap. It was wonderful. It was wonderful. It was 2021 when they won the CPL, and then of course most recently that 100 not out versus the St. Lucia Kings. That one everybody know that one because it's recent. In at number 5, Brandon King, two centuries, two wonderful centuries. I remember that 104 versus the guy in the Amazon Warrior, but I remember even better the 132 versus Barbados Trident in 2019 when he was the leading run scorer in CPL. It was his breakout year. That was wonderful. Smashing Shakib Al Hassan, Jason Older, Ashley Nurse, Hayden Walsh Jr. It was wonderful. Brandon King at his sublime best. In at number 4, the South African Faf du Plessis with 2 centuries as well. I don't really remember his 103 versus Amazon Warrior, but I remember that 120 versus the Patriots because I think it was in the year when the Patriots won it. 120 not out. It really hurt me because I remember watching Faf du Plessis smash Alzari, Joseph, Sheldon, Cottrell, and these guys. And I was supporting the Patriots, man. But of course, Faf took them down. And then I think they bowled out the Patriots for like 86, chasing that mammoth total. So Faf with 2 centuries at number 4. Number 3, Andre Russell. Everyone has to know Andre Russell's century. Fastest century in CPL, 140 deliveries versus TKR, reigning sixes. 121 not out, that was in like 50 deliveries. And 100 versus TKR, the first one in 2016 when the title was won it, was like from 42 deliveries. So Dre Russell, an absolute beast. Now the top two, they have done something remarkable. Guess who? Dwayne Smith, 4 centuries. Dwayne Smith was on fire. But I remember this CPL edition, the second and the third edition, it's either you got 100 from Dwayne Smith or nothing. It was either century, then 15. Century, then 0. It was crazy. 50, nothing. Dwayne Smith was very in between that season. But one thing I really remember about that century was the celebration versus the Amazon Warrior. Did I think like, you have to go back and watch it. That was just a celebration was to me more entertaining than the inning
Stop the
itself. But
cap.
that's just to me. The celebration was amazing. And at number 1, of course, we know the Universe Boss. The Universe Boss. For the first century versus St. Lucia Zooks, 111 not out. At the time, the Tala was on a poor team, in my opinion. They only had 3 batsmen, Gale, Russell, and Walton. Sangakkara wasn't there 2014. And Gale, Adam Voges and these guys can't do anything. Oisha can't do anything, right? But man, that 111 out of 160 was just an absolute treat. Smashing Sammy, smashing Shane Shillingford, Soil Tanvir getting cut for 4. It was lovely. The 105 versus TK and the 108, those were also wonderful. And then the 116 versus St. Kitts Patriots, his former franchise. But that was in a losing cause. He's number 1 with 4 centuries. So of all these centuries, in total there are 29 centuries in CPL history. How many of these you remember? Let's count how many I remember. I know Martin Goktila. Talk about that. I remember Hickmeyer's innings. I remember Rakim's innings. That's 3. I don't remember Glenn Phillips. I remember Pollard. I don't remember Hemraj's innings. I know Shea Hope's innings. I remember 7. Marlon Samuels. I remember that one. That's 8. Don't remember Shamar Brooks' innings. I remember Alex Hale's innings. That's 9. I remember both of Poran's innings. That's 11. Both of Evan Lewis' innings. 13. Both of Brandon King's innings, that's 15. Only remember the 120 from Faf, that's 14. Both of Andre Russell's innings, 16. Only remember Dwayne Smith's first century with the celebration. And I know all of Chris Gale's innings. So I remember about 20 out of the 29 centuries. How many do you remember? Like, actually, you can remember the innings. You can sit down and just remember fully what was happening in the game. Tell me, how many you remember? Which one you comment? Which one is also your favorite century for the CPL? Alright, so it's your boy Ronaldo, and I'm out.